The knitted cast-on is one of the easiest cast-ons to remember when you're first starting to knit, because it's the same stitch as what you're already learning while you're learning to knit. To start the knitted cast-on, you would make a slip knot. I wrap my fingers around and make a loop, and then reach into the loop and pull through the tail that's attached to the ball of yarn. There's a slip knot. And slide that onto your needle. Don't pull it too tight. You want to have a little bit of room in there so that there's some wiggle room to get the other needles. Hold the needle with the yarn on it in your left hand, and then with your right hand, this is if you're a righty, by the way, you go into the bottom of the loop, up and through to the other side, and take this yarn and wrap it over. This is just like a knit stitch. Except you want to keep this stitch on the left needle and then add the new stitch right on top of it. Like that. So there is one cast-on stitch using the knitted cast-on method. And then to do the next one, you really don't want to pull this too tight because it's going to be impossible to get the needle in there if it's too tight. So give it a little bit of wiggle room so that you have some space to get this needle up in there. So I go in this way, but I go over this back one here. I'm on top of it, in the back. Wrap your yarn to the front over the back needle, and then down, and then pull it through like you're knitting a stitch. Like that. Keeping these two previous stitches on the left needle, and then adding your new stitch from the right needle onto the left. And you would just keep doing this until you have the amount of stitches that the pattern calls for. So let's pretend our pattern calls for 4 stitches. Then to do the first row, all you need to do is loosen up that first stitch again. So it's nice and loose. Go in there, knit that stitch. And you've knit your first row after doing the knitted cast-on method. I've added a couple more rows in stockinette stitch so you can more clearly see that cast-on. Thank you for watching how to do the knitted cast-on. I hope you have a lot of fun with your new technique. Happy knitting!